When we think of large luxury American SUVs, we always think of the battle between the Cadillac Escalade and the Lincoln Navigator, but here is an interesting fact that may surprise you. General Motors' first answer to the 1998 Lincoln Navigator wasn't the Escalade, it was a Yukon Denali. My name is Omar, and today I'm test driving the 2021 GMC Yukon Denali. GM launched the GMC Denali brand for the 1999 Yukon Denali as their first attempt to go after the Lincoln Navigator, but then someone somewhere wised up and GM rushed the development of a large luxury SUV for Cadillac, and the Escalade was born. Funny thing is, the 1999 GMC Yukon Denali and the 1999 Cadillac Escalade were an exact copy of each other. It was rebadging at its best. The exterior, the interior were the exact same thing except for the logo and the nameplate. You get pissed off about rebadging now, but imagine seeing that in 1999. Well, fast forward to 2021 and GM is still rebadging their large SUVs. They share the same engines, the same parts, the same platform, and a bunch of other stuff. Although there is now a significant difference between the exterior and sitting inside a GMC Yukon Denali and sitting inside the Cadillac Escalade. That said, let me give you a tour of the 2021 GMC Yukon Denali, and then I'll give you my opinion on what I think about it. But before I do, make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you hit like. All right, let's do this. As always, before we get into everything else, let's take a look at some of the cool and interesting things that you should know about the 2021 GMC Yukon Denali. Now, there are some similarities in all of GM's large SUVs, and more so between the Yukon and the Chevy Tahoe, so I'm going to show you a really cool feature that you can only get on the Yukon and the Tahoe and not the Escalade. And that's this really cool power sliding center console that will run you an extra $350. You just use this overhead switch right here and you'll be able to slide the center console back up to 10 inches. And when pushed all the way back, there's a hidden storage drawer right here where you can hide expensive items or something from the cops. Next up, one of my favorite features on the Tahoe, Yukon, and the Escalade is a power folding third row. So one of the ways you can fold the third row is to just do it the traditional way by using the buttons in the cargo area. By the way, I really like how quickly these seats fold. Some power folding rows take forever, and this one here is actually really quick. But say you're chilling in the driver's seat and you don't want to go to the back and fold the third row. You can do that from right here by using these two overhead switches. This is for the left and this is for the right. So let's hit the right and see it go down. That is super cool and super convenient. And not to mention, you can also put them right back up from the driver's seat so you never have to get out and go to the back. Now, as a part of a package, you can get a rear seat media system that will give you two 12.6-inch touchscreen displays mounted on the front seat backs. You also get two wireless headphones, but you can also use your own Bluetooth headphones if you wish. But yeah, just like on the Cadillac Escalade, you can send the driver a destination for wherever it is that you want to go. Let's go to all food and let's head over to the local Dunkin' Donuts. Send that to the driver and the driver can either accept or ignore your request. I'm most likely always going to ignore your request because I'm weird like that. Next up, I don't know much about trailering or hauling, so there's an app here in the Yukon Denali where you can go in, create a profile, and then you can run through a checklist of items and make sure that everything is connected and stowed properly before you start towing so you don't mess up. Next up, let's talk about pricing. Pricing for the 2021 Yukon starts at $50,700. The Yukon Denali starts at $68,400. The bigger XL Denali starts at $76,965. As tested here, you're looking at over $82,000. My test model here is equipped with a few options and packages, with the most expensive being the Denali Ultimate Package for $10,410. And that will give you a giant panoramic sunroof, which is always nice to have. Then you also get the cool dual screen rear entertainment system that we saw earlier. You also get 22-inch bright aluminum wheels, which I would expect nothing less on a Denali. You get power running boards that are actually illuminated. They look really cool at nighttime. You also have an air adaptive suspension for better ride quality and more ground clearance. You also get a bunch of driver assist tech like adaptive cruise control, nothing that exciting there, but you also have a rear camera mirror. Now, just by adding this package, you're already approaching the starting price tag of a Cadillac Escalade, which already comes pretty well equipped with a lot of standard features, including that beautiful curved 38-inch OLED display, which alone is the coolest thing ever. So yeah, you can either spend $82,245 on this Yukon Denali as seen here, or go for an entry-level Cadillac Escalade luxury trim. Let's talk horsepower and torque. Power for my test model here comes from a 3-liter 6-cylinder turbo diesel making 277 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque, and that's mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And that will allow you to go from 0 to 60 in a very long 7.7 seconds with a top speed of only 112 miles an hour. And remember, when you're fueling up, use diesel fuel only. You get 20 city and 26 highway. You have a 24-gallon tank capacity. I'm averaging, after a few days of driving, a total of 22.6 miles a gallon, so that's not bad at all. Let's take a quick look at the exterior design of the 2021 GMC Yukon Denali, because this giant beast looks pretty nice actually. The only thing that bothers me is that the Yukon Denali looks pretty much like all the other Yukon trim levels, unless you take a closer look and you'll see all the chrome and the Denali badges. Again, if I was spending this kind of money, I would want to attract some looks and make a statement, and I think the Cadillac Escalade will do that for you. Nonetheless, you do have some exclusive Denali touches, like the giant grille, which is a trademark grille for Denali called Galvano. This grille actually features over 10,000 individual reflective surfaces, so it shines pretty bright when the sun hits it right. It makes a pretty bold statement when you're driving down the road. Other than that, I think the GMC Yukon overall is a pretty handsome and tough looking SUV. It definitely looks more muscular than the Cadillac Escalade and the rest of the competition. By the way, one of my favorite touches are the signature GMC C-shaped headlamps with a really cool LED daytime running light blade. These are probably one of the cooler looking headlamps I've seen in this segment. Now let's hop inside the new Yukon Denali, because this is a lot better than the outgoing model, and in fact it's a little different from the regular Yukon. One of the first things that you'll notice when you get inside the Yukon Denali is that the Denali has a whole new center dash than the regular Yukon. The regular Yukon gets a floating center display, but on the Yukon Denali they've built it right in, and I think that's a smart move to differentiate both a little bit from the inside. Other than that, it's really nice in here. You have a choice of 4 unique color themes, and each is outfitted with premium and authentic materials. Also, each of those themes include authentic wood trim with a fully natural look and texture. Now, GMC says that the leather seating surfaces are cut and stitched by hand in a unique Denali pattern. I do want to point out that this stitching looks really awesome, but I feel like it's really also very fragile. If I ended up hitting it with a sharp object, I feel like the stitching would come apart easily. Either way, these seats are very comfortable. It feels like you're sitting on a couch. You get standard heated and cooled front seats, and you also get a standard heated steering wheel. Let's hop in the second row and check out the legroom. You get 42 inches of legroom here in the second row. I'm about 6 foot tall. That's my seating position. I sit further back than the normal human being. As you can see, I still have plenty of room, and you can also slide the second row forward and back if you want more legroom. Now, the GMC Yukon Denali does come standard with tri-zone climate control, so you have your own climate control here in the second and third row, and you also get standard second row heated seats. To get into the third row, all you have to do is pull this latch here twice, and the second row lifts up, creating a passageway for you to get into the third row. And it's quite a bit of room, so you can just walk right in, get into the second row, fold this close, and it's not bad, but it's not comfortable for somebody as tall as me. Tech-wise, you don't have a digital gauge cluster display. You just have a regular gauge cluster display right here, and then you have a standard 10.25-inch touchscreen display with navigation. You also get wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. By the way, it took me some time to get used to the push-button gear selector here. You push to park, pull to reverse, push for neutral, and pull for drive. It can get a little bit confusing, but once you get used to it, it's not so bad. Now, before I give you my opinion on how it is to drive the GMC Yukon Denali, let me point out a few random things that I'll have to show all of you, not counting the side door bottle holders. You have 6 cup holders, 2 for the front passengers, 2 right here for the second row passengers, and then you have 2 for the third row passengers on each side, 1 right there and 1 right there. That's just a little storage area, so we're not going to count that. Here are what the keys look like for the 2021 GMC Yukon Denali. No Denali logo, but you do have a cool GMC logo, and that's about it. Door open and close sound from the outside and from the inside. Pretty solid. Charging game wise, you have a standard wireless charger right there, and then you have a regular USB port and a USB-C port in the front. You get 2 USB-C ports for the second row passengers, along with the household outlet right there. And then both of the third row passengers get a USB-C port each to charge their devices. Let's do a quick indicator and horn sound test here on the 2021 GMC Yukon Denali. Indicator first. Pretty much the same old GM indicator. And now for the horn sound. Let's hear it. Oh yeah, pretty solid. Like it a lot. And now that I've given you a tour of the 2021 GMC Yukon Denali, let me give you my opinion on how it drives. All right, let's get to it. All right, so first things first, the model that I'm driving here is powered by a Duramax turbo diesel, making only 277 horsepower, but it also pumps out a massive 460 pound-feet of torque. Meaning while this thing is good for fuel economy and a lot of range between fill-ups, it's also good for towing and hauling. Although I can't imagine many people buying the GMC Yukon Denali for towing and hauling, but you have that option. I will say that this diesel doesn't feel like diesel at all. There's no loud diesel engine sound, and it's actually pretty quiet in here considering that this is a luxury SUV. I'm really amazed about how little dieselish this thing feels. This interior is much better than the outgoing model, and it's the most luxury you can get before you go for the luxurious Cadillac Escalade. And even though this thing only makes 277 horsepower, that torque does help you when you're trying to take over somebody on the highway. It's actually plenty of power for your daily needs. Now, GM has definitely upgraded the large luxury SUVs for 2021. You now have a multi-link rear independent suspension, which means you have a better and smoother ride quality. The overall driving experience is really solid. Nonetheless, it does feel like you're driving something really large. I will say that the BMW X7 and the Mercedes-Benz GLS have a more car riding-like experience. This feels like you're driving a truck, and it should. Now, here's a fun fact for you all. 60% of all Yukon sales are a Denali, so the GMC Yukon Denali is a very serious contender in the large luxury SUV segment. The GMC Yukon Denali starts at around $69,000, while the Cadillac Escalade starts at around $76,000. However, as tested here, you're looking at around $82,000, so at some point you might want to consider thinking about whether or not going for the Escalade might be a better option. Not to mention, the base Escalade is packed with a long list of standard features. It has better tech and a better cabin. Nonetheless, you can add on a bunch of bells and whistles that can easily bring the price of the Escalade over $100,000, which is the one that I tested a few months ago was priced at. Still, a part of me would still go for the Cadillac Escalade over the Yukon Denali just for the fact that I love the Escalade as an option in the large luxury SUV segment. Either way, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you hit like, make sure you follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. My handle is @OmarDrives. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Peace. See you next time. Take care of yourself. Thanks for watching.